Today we're going to be discussing how to choose your bow tie for evening wear. Hi, I'm Leah from Rampley & Co, and today I'm joined by Mickael, founder of Bowtique and author of Modern Black Tie. Hi Mickael.
Hi Leah.
So today we're talking about the bow tie. Can you tell us how best to choose one?
Yes, of course. I think the first thing to take into consideration is going to be the shape of your face. So if you have a face that's on the rounder side, you're going to want a bow tie that's a bit squarer. And the opposite is true as well. If you have a face that's a bit on the squarer side, you're going to want a bow tie with slightly more curves.
And with regards to the lapel, does that have any relationship to the bow tie?
It does as well. One thing to keep in mind is to have your bow tie in proportion to your whole attire. So that comes through the lapel. So if you have a lapel that's a bit on the fuller side, like this one on a mannequin, you're going to want a bow tie that is a bit larger. And the same is true when you have a lapel that's a bit slimmer, you'll want a bow tie that's a bit smaller as well. And the same thing is true proportionally to your frame. So if you have a larger frame or a smaller frame, you're going to go for a larger bow tie or a smaller bow tie.
Could you tell us the most standard bow tie?
Yes, of course. So the most standard bow tie looks like this and tied, and it looks like so once tied. So it has the curved wings, and it's a standard size and a standard shape. So that would fit most people.
So would it be a good idea to start off with this one if you were looking to purchase your first bow tie?
Yes, I would think so. If you average frame, standard face shape, I would say that would be the most standard.
In your opinion, Mickael, what are the most popular fabrics to choose from?
So I would say two fabrics are the most traditional. So it's going to depend on what your lapel is made of on your dinner jacket. So it's going to be traditionally either satin or grosgrain. On this one we have a satin, which is black. It's on the shiny side, and grosgrain is a ribbed fabric, which is much more matte. So depending what you have on your lapels, you would match your bow tie to it. The other choice you can have, which is quite celebratory, which is what I'm wearing today, is a velvet bow tie. And if you choose a velvet, try and stay within the dark shades. So a very dark green, a very dark purple, a very dark blue, or black. And I tend to find that it works better with an off-white jacket like I'm wearing compared to wearing it with a black.
If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Would you ever match your pocket square to your bow tie?
I wouldn't. The main reason being 99% of the time you would wear a black bow tie, so I wouldn't recommend wearing a black pocket square. And basically the idea of wearing a white pocket square with black tie is to create a bit of contrast, and it makes the outfit look a bit lighter rather than a lot of black fabric. You just have a tiny bit of contrast.
Would you ever go for colours?
You could do, in the right circumstances again. So for example, if you were to wear a red boutonnière, which some people do with black tie, it's a very traditional look. You could have a pocket square that has maybe a bit of white, a bit of red and a bit of black, just to not match, but to complement the fact that you are wearing red. But otherwise, I would tend to stay away from introducing a color that is not relevant to the whole outfit. Pattern bow ties I would tend to stay away from. I would tend to stay away from anything that's novelty when it comes to black tie. You want to keep it classic. So you still want to match your lapels and your bow tie, so either satin or grosgrain. If you want to do something a bit different, I would say either do a velvet or add a bit of texture, but keep the same color as your lapel. If you were to do a pattern, do something very, very subtle that's almost invisible. A self-tie bow tie, or a bow tie that you need to tie, always has more volume than a pre-tied bow tie. I think the pre-tied bow tie, as people know them, they're basically made, it's a rectangle of fabric with just a bit of fabric wrapped around it, so it's really flat. It doesn't really have much life. Whereas a bow tie that you need to tie basically has two wings at the back, at the front and back, opposite. So these are two loops, and then you have two ends. So it gives much more life and much more volume to a bow tie. So it's much more elegant than something that's really flat.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.